All right. Well, it's on your channel, so you might as well give the whole.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to a joint production of Nathan Lawyer and Uncivil Law. I hope you're doing great. I'm doing great. And we're here to talk about the Young Turks' own Rashad Richey, who wrote at least one thesis, or according to him, wrote how many theses? Thesi?
Well, he got 5 doctorates in human, so I'm assuming at least 5.
Typically, you write a thesis for a master's too, right?
Yeah.
So he's like probably written 10 of these things. He should be really good at it. We're going to read one of these documents that has something to do with soil and magnets or something. And we're going to see if it makes any sense.
Well, you know, we did have Grok and ChatGPT analyzers. Should we give them the...
No, they weren't feeling it.
So we showed up exactly.
No, yeah.
All right, you want to get right into it.
No, I just want to. I want to read the glory that is this. All right. So this is apparently published in the International Journal of Science and Research. Exciting. Interdisciplinary analysis of Earth's geomagnetic quantum field. Right away, I'm like, this sounds like bullshit. A study of human physiology and agronomy, which is soil. A study of human physiology and soil. Great. By Rashad Richey, Masters of Science in the soil physics.
Now, one thing that most of you, if you guys have watched the earlier live stream or even watched the video on Rashad Richey, it says here, not masters. It's from the University de la Renaissance, Haiti. But when we looked at his thing, this is where he says he got his law degree from.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I've heard of people getting joint degrees. Like
this could be it.
You know, there were people in my law school who got a joint JD and what was it for business?
JD MBA.
Yeah, JD MBA. So there were a few people that. Although they didn't do it at my law school, I have heard of joint JD MD.
Yes, I have seen. I've seen this too.
So maybe this was a joint program between the law school and the soil science department.
So, all right. So now I got to switch. Unfortunately, people, don't forget, I'm still going through my brain issues, but I'm going to switch from this because on his, what's it called? Let me share this. So you
his CV, we'll call it.
The CV, yes.
The CV on his law firm.
That I'm going to share because if you look, he says he got this degree not from the University of Haiti, but he got this one in Bachelor of Science on the quantum physics, right? PhD quantum physics, Paris Graduate School. Then he has, so I don't know this one, Master of Science. This one, right? Quantum mechanics?
I don't know.
Master's. I think this is
Master of Science. No, this is a Master of Science in agronomical physics. That's applied physics. That's a different discipline. He's got a lot of these things. Master of Science in cognitive psychology, Master of Law, Master of Business Administration, Doctor of Philosophy.
But he said he got this with because he has the University of Renaissance, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the LLM.
But it's not here. That's it.
I guess.
All right. So this is some degree from some university that happens to say this. So we'll go to that. Particularly love the social sciences. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. So let's just get back to this document. I'm gonna take this off because Kurt needs to read this for some crazy reason. But we're gonna read it.
I need to read it because I'm not particularly educated in the soil sciences. And, I feel like I have a need to become more educated. So what better way to become educated in this field than to read the work of a master? It says Masters of Science right there, right?
It does say Masters.
So, what better way to understand the sciences and gain a little knowledge about soil?
About soil, yeah.
And how quantum mechanics is relative, or quantum physics is relevant to soil. If anyone in chat has any ideas before reading this, how quantum physics or quantum mechanics is relevant to anything that happens at a farm, I'd love to hear about it.
Well, you've talked it up enough. Let's start with you. You wanted to read this thing. Let's start with the abstract. What's the abstract say? Here we go.
Oh, but it also has a running title.
Okay.
Earth's geomagnetic quantum field and human physiology. Fantastic. This analytical thesis explores various intricacies and connections of the Earth's geomagnetic quantum field on epidemiological soil science, which, by the way, epidemiological just means soil science, so he's saying the same thing twice, and human physiology by conducting an extensive review of empirical studies and perform a qualitative analysis with quantitative overtones. What the fuck?
What the hell is this?
This thesis examines the influence of geomagnetic fluctuations on soil health, plant growth, and human physiological responses. What? Our research indicates that geomagnetic quantum fields are pivotal in maintaining ecological balance and promoting human well-being. Okay, these findings underscore the importance of further interdisciplinary research in this domain. This study not only enhances our understanding of the biological effects of geomagnetism, but also outlines potential avenues for further research. By elucidating the interactions between the Earth's geomagnetic field, soil health, and human physiological processes, how those things go together in the same thought is beyond me, but perhaps will educate me further. This paper contributes to a more comprehensive understanding of the role of geomagnetism in both ecological sciences and human health. I can't help noticing that we've been doing agriculture for a very long time, and I don't remember reading anywhere in Richard's Almanac about the variances of magnetic soil. I remember reading a lot about the weather, and I remember, but not so much on how the geomagnetic fluctuations will help this year's crop. Maybe this is things that were unknown to all of agriculture up to this point. We've been doing the agriculture thing for what, about 10,000 years, give or take?
Yeah, about 10,000 years.
So, okay. Okay, keywords: geomagnetic field, quantum field, agronomy, epidemiology, human physiology, electromagnetic, and soil health. Great. Let's. I want to read more things.
But
I'm not educated yet on this field.
But all right, so a couple of things. This just all sounds like gobbledygook to me. I honestly don't know what this paper is about. So from what I'm seeing, it seems like the Earth's magnetic field is supposed to, physiology. So my body and the Earth's magnetic field and crops all with the geomagnetic field, right? Is that where we're going with it?
I guess.
Let me ask, what is this paper about? What is this about? Bottom line. I'm bottom lining it from AI. Bottom line.
I mean, I'm willing to buy the premise that the magnetic field is not always uniform everywhere on Earth.
It's a move.
I'm willing to buy the premise that, well, even beyond that, I'm willing to bet that there's fluctuation. Taking apart the fact that the magnetic field moves, I'm willing to bet that there's some variance or fluctuation in it. That's not perfect or uniform everywhere all the time. I have some, this could potentially impact things, but I'm not sure how it's going to have much bearing on my crops, but yeah.
Well, it's the AI is just destroying it. All right, so let's just read it. It's not even giving us anything. It's like this is crap. This is crap.
I mean, it's like gravity, right? Because gravity is slightly different in different places of the Earth. You can measure it scientifically. It's not quite uniform. So, but how is that going to matter into anything unless you're doing ultra precise, things?
Well, you got to have some experiments in here, some math, right?
Okay.
It's quantum physics. You got to have some math in there, right?
All right.
Physics.
Costello and Gwilym suggest that the quantum field theory assigns a dynamic dynamic quality or quantity or field to every point in space and moment in time. Okay. The magnetic field exemplifies this by assigning direction to each point in three-dimensional space, requiring a dynamic variable for every location. Okay. The Earth's geomagnetic field, also known as the geomagnetic quantum field, originates from the plant's interior. I believe that's true, and extends through the crust into the atmosphere. I also believe that's true. This pervasive field influences various Earth ecosystems, including soil, land, water, and atmosphere. To some degree, that's probably true. Because living organisms are partially regulated by and responsive to electromagnetic and magnetic fields, okay, the geomagnetic field significantly impacts biological processes and health. I'm not sure about significantly, but okay. Magnetic fields are measurable using magnometers, which are hypersensitive instruments capable of detecting, qualifying, and quantifying the strength and direction of the geomagnetic or external magnetic fields. Yes, or you could just use a compass. That would also tell me the direction of the magnetic field.
Well, this is saying that, number one, this first paragraph about the geomagnetic field, that it is not a quantum field. Earth's magnetic field is described as a classical electromagnetism, not quantum field theory. So maybe this is an argument to consider Earth's magnetic field a quantum field.
I don't know how quantum is going to have anything to do with this. I'm not buying it.
Let's try to get through at least one page of this. This thing is like horrible. Here we go.
Wait, we have to scroll down because I'm in the next paragraph. Okay. However, understanding geomagnetism is inherently complex and interdisciplinary, requiring expertise in electromagnetics, fluid dynamics, and planetary physics. First of all, no. But second of all, I'm glad that he's writing it because he's, of course, an expert in these and many other things. This thesis reviews empirical literature on the impact of the Earth's magnetic field on epheologically, which is the soil science, and human physiology. It begins with an overview of the geomagnetic field and then explores its relationship with soil and plant health, as well as effect on human physiology, process, and health. If the magnetic field has really anything to do with soil quality, I will be amazed.
That would be that this is why this is it. But hold on. My question is, this is supposed to be a French school. Why is this all in English?
Maybe it was transferred.
Maybe it's translated.
Apparently it's been double-blind peer reviewed. Sure, I'd love to know who the peer reviewers of this are. I have questions. The Earth's magnetic field is believed primarily generated by the movement of multi-iron and nickel within its core. That's my understanding as well. Ampere's circuit law, also known as Ampere's law, describes the relationship between the fields and electrical currents or changing electric fields. Yes, that's why we call it electromagnetic. This relationship is expressed magnetically with this formula, where one of the variables is the permeability of free space. However, the Earth's magnetic field strength is typically measured in terms of magnetic field intensity, which relates to the magnetic flux density through the equation, where M represents the magnetization of the Earth's core material. Sure, this geomagnetic field significantly influences various natural processes, such as the mineral composition of soil. Well, while I believe that is true to a degree, I don't believe that it's going to, even assuming that the magnetic field fluctuates from point to point or time to time, which is a premise I'm willing to grant. But even if that's true, I'm having a really hard time believing that the fluctuations are going to be enough for the soil to care.
Because I do know the only thing that's tripping me up is that like for instance, when lava comes out, and they're able to look at when it's cooled, all the iron is aligned with the magnetic field as it currently is.
Right.
So, but I don't know if that affects the soil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it would only influence it in so much as the layers of soil were laid down in the first place, and there's magnetic elements into it.
Yes, I would see that. So, again,
but that would be more like a historical analysis. Like, okay, as the field has changed and different layers got laid down, they got laid down differently because of the magnetic change.
Yeah, I'm
like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But that it has really much bearing on day to day or human physiology, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that. This geomagnetic field significantly influences various natural processes, such as the mineral composition of soils. Okay. As well to the degree that they are magnetic or ferromagnetic, I guess. The magnetic properties of different soils and regions, the availability of nutrients, micro activity, and the plant response, like germination and growth, are all affected by geomagnetic forces. Really? The growth of plants is affected by the magnets? Okay.
Well, these, just so we're all on the same page, these are all conclusory statements. None of this has been proven, right? But we are in the introduction.
Additionally, animal behavior, hormonal regulation, immune and neurological function, electrochemical processes both in soil and organisms are influenced by these fields. I'm willing to buy that that's true to some degree, but okay. The geomagnetic fields present is evident in everyday tools like compasses, which align with the Earth's magnetic poles. That is true. In closed magnetic systems, the Biot-Savart law explains that the magnetic field produced by a steady current in a wire. According to this law, the magnetic field at a point due to infinitesimal current element of length is proportional to the product of dl and sine of the angle. I'm not 100% sure why we're talking about this, because the Earth is not a wire.
That's true.
So I'm not quite sure what those last two sentences had to do with anything, but moving on. The mathematical expression for a magnetic field generated by a current element is given by the Biot-Savart law, where that represents the permeability of free space. You already said that. The widely accepted theory posits the Earth geomagnetic field. You already said that. I'm just reading the same thing.
This is, well, maybe did he copy and paste it again?
I read that.
Okay.
It aligns with the magnetic corpus of three main components: the primary dipole field, secular variation, and the non-dipole anomaly field. What the fuck? The primary dipole field is the most dominant and stable components. Secular variation refers to changes in the geomagnetic field's direction and strength over time. Okay. The non-dipole component represents deviations from the primary dipole field. Okay. The geomagnetic field also creates the Earth magnetic poles, well, sort of, yes, which align vertically through the points where the Earth's rotation axis intersects the surface. Well, no, they don't. That's not true. The magnetic fields do not, in fact, align vertically through the rotation axis.
No, they don't. Yeah, it's true.
I know that's not true. The magnetic North Pole is somewhere in Canada.
Yes.
The rotation North Pole is sufficiently north of that.
Correct.
By some margin.
Yes.
So I just found a flaw in his double blind review period paper.
Yeah, it's pretty off. That's off.
Yeah. Geological records show that the Earth's magnetic field has undergone north-south reversal through history. That's true. Extending through the atmosphere and into space, the geomagnetic field forms the magnetosphere, which interacts with the sun's charged wind particles. That's true. This interaction creates a protective shield that deflects most solar wind particles, safeguarding biological processes. That's true. The magnetosphere's protective function is one of the many ways in which the Earth's magnetic field influences biological processes and support ecological systems. Yes, the fact that we have a magnetic field is very helpful with the life thing. That's definitely a strong bonus in our favor. Scrolling down. Solar activity, such as coronal mass injection and solar flares, can significantly disturb the magnetosphere, altering the strength and configuration of the field on the planet's surface. I buy that. Understanding the impact of the fields on biological processes and soil health requires a holistic perspective. I immediately hate this guy. He used the word holistic, Nate. That's like kryptonite for me.
You know, the crazy part is, I've read, now it's going to get crazier after this, but it's boring as hell, and you wanted to read it, so continue on.
No, I need to understand the sciences. I need to understand. I've learned something new today. The magnetic pole and the rotational pole are one and the same. See, without this paper, how would I know these things?
I just went through brain tumor surgery, and this seems to be a little bit worse going through this. But I'm here.
No, the audience must understand. We must become soil scientists, or are we soil scientists? Or are we doing geomagnetic fields, or what are we doing? I'm not even sure. The existence and influence of the geomagnetic field can be observed through a compass. You told me that already. And many animal species are thought to rely on magnetic sensitivity for migration. Yes. Some research also suggests that humans might have inherent, albeit subconscious, sensitivity to changes in the field. I understand that to be true. I understand what he's referring to, at least. Extensive studies that document the myriad ways in which the geomagnetic field affects living systems, from cellular processes to soil nutrition composition, impacting natural processes, neurological activity, and broader aspects of individual and ecological health. Is there anything the magnetic field cannot do?
I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's all encompassing, all takes care of the soil, takes care of everything.
Ukano and Inu describe the Earth's magnetic field as indispensable for the origin and evolution of life. It's very helpful.
Yes.
Highlighting correlations between measurable geomagnetic storms and disruption in biological processes. Okay. Erdmann emphasized the importance of geomagnetic fields in stabilizing environmental conditions. Karam and SC described the potential subtle qualitative effects of geomagnetic and electromagnetic frequencies on all aspects of biological health and developmental processes. Again, I buy this to be possibly true. There is some effect of, after all, the brain is
magnetic.
Well, it's electrical, and so therefore the Earth's magnetic field probably does have some influence on the mind, or
that's essentially what I'm going through now. My brain wiring, sometimes the electrical impulses spread out. That's what causes those seizures. So
similarly, Cohen proposed that the Earth's geomagnetic and electrical fields play crucial roles in regulating and supporting cardiovascular health. All right. Okay. Moving on. Are we going down or going up?
I think we're still
DeBro published empirical evidence showing interactions between changes in the geomagnetic field and biological processes in humans, including biological regulation and neurological and cognitive functions. These speculations and supporting evidence are explored in greater depth in the following section. I mean, is it really fair to call it speculations? I mean, it seems a little harsh to your fellow academic.
No, if their papers aren't conclusive, right? They may be a hypothesis too.
Well, maybe their papers are not conclusive because they're good scientists and they're like, oh, we have an idea and we're doing some research, but it's not quite ready for prime time yet.
Well, hold on. So at this point, before we get to the relationships between the geomagnetic field and whatever that is, what have you understood of any of this? Because this is where when I initially read it, this is where I stopped and I was like, I understand the print. Like I know. Go ahead.
I understand that the magnetic field of the Earth is good.
Yes.
And it's good that we have one.
Yes.
And also it that I learned from this.
I'm just saying it's just like right now going into it. I know we're talking about we've essentially just established the Earth has a magnetic field. It protects us from solar radiation and solar winds, blah, 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 blah. And it has some relationship and it affects things on the Earth, like, the aligning, what we were talking about earlier, when things align, things that are magnetic. But he's now extended that to organic beings like us, right?
Okay.
It affects us in some way too. But I don't understand the quantum piece of it. I understand that. I just understand that's where I'm getting this. So maybe he'll introduce it later. But
I just saw some stupid. Let's get that. Let's get there.
It.
Ephiologically, which is the study of soil composition, health, and relation to plant growth, is a fundamental aspect of ecological, environmental, and human health. Yes, because it's basically the same thing. You just said study of the soil is good for understanding the study of the soil. Yeah, that's a truism. That's fantastic. This section explores how geomagnetic fields influence the soil science, shedding light on various interactions between the Earth's field and soil properties. This had better be really good. The Earth's geomagnetic fields impact soil magnetism, magnetic susceptibility of minerals and nutrients. Well, I guess that's true by definition. If the minerals are magnetic,
yes,
then yes, they will respond to the magnetism.
Like iron.
Yes, yeah, sure. Impacts soil magnetism, magnetic susceptibility, minerals and minerals. Yeah, if there was no magnetic field, they wouldn't be magnetically susceptible because the field wouldn't exist. Water movement through the soil, no. Microbial activity and electrical induction, all of which play crucial roles in plant growth and development. For example, certain minerals like magnetite respond more strongly to magnetic. Yes, influence the overall magnetism of the soil and its interaction with the. I mean, that's true to the degree it has things there. Okay. Further, changes in soil magnetic properties can affect water interaction with soil particles. No, no, it can't.
Changes in soil can affect water interaction.
No.
Yeah.
Magnets do not move water.
Magnetic water. Let's give it magnetic water.
Many biological processes rely on specific electromagnetic properties and charge interactions of water, underscoring the importance of these geomagnetic influences. The following sections will delve into the geomagnetic field's relationship with soil health and plant health. Though these topics are complex and interconnected, they're presented separately here for clarity and organization. Oh, good, some clarity. That's good.
You wanted to read this. I don't know if I'm going to get through all this, but we got some. It's
no, man.
It's a slow burn.
No, man. You were saying all kinds of slanderous things early today about the good doctor, and I thought we'd let the good doctor speak for himself. So what better way than to let him speak for himself from his own academic research?
Preach it.
Okay. Research suggests that the Earth's magnetic field significantly influences soil health and composition, primarily through interactions with the magnetism and mineral content. Different minerals in soil, such as magnetite and nickel, are particularly responsive. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The degree of soil magnetism can impact water nutrient movement. Well, only in so much as it would influence what elements are in the soil and therefore affect the absorption of the water, but it won't directly affect the water itself. Influencing their distribution and availability for plant intake. Yeah, but the degree to which that's true happened long, long ago.
Yeah.
The magnetic properties of soil affect water retention, filtration, and drainage. Also, from the point of view of the farmer, you don't really care very much. You care what your soil is. I'm not sure you really care necessarily how it got there in the first place.
That's good. You just care what you have.
Why did my soil come to be?
And is it useful? But it's I think the argument is I'm not sure if you put more magnetic stuff in the soil, if it makes it grow better. I don't like. I'm not understanding. It does talk about absorption, but yeah.
Water is partially paramagnetic, really?
There it is. You see, water is partially paramagnetic. Boom.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, look, because there are like OH, and then there is because H2O is neutral, but the OH, you have OH positive, where you only have oxygen. So you do have that.
All right, fair enough. Furthermore, water that moves or drains frequently becomes more oxygenated, leading to different microbial composition of soil. Aerobic microbes that thrive in well-drained soils with frequent water movement, whereas dense, poorly drained soils also tend to support anaerobic microbes. These variations in microbial composition
going up
and activity results in diverse symbiotic relationships and vegetation types, highlighting the intricate connection between soil magnetism and plant health. De Broglie highlighted the potential of the Earth's magnetic field to influence electromagnetic induction currents within soils, impacting electrochemical processes such as redox reactions, ion exchanges, and nutrient availability. Okay. While these processes are often discussed individually, they interact in a complex, dynamic web with significant implications for soil health. Electromagnetic changes can also affect soil pH levels. Molnieks observed significant correlations between annual increases in soil acidity and corresponding decreases in geomagnetic field strength during the summer months. Okay. Data from the late 1900s across sites in South America, Australia, and North America indicated that reduced geomagnetic field strength between July and August was associated with increased soil acidity.
More acidity in the soil. The magnets.
I would think, although I could be wrong, I would think that many things would have much more significant impact
on the soil
acidity than
yeah.
Regarding the influence of GMP on plant nutrient uptake, Vigenti investigated how environmental factors such as changes in the magnetic field affect sulfur and iron uptake in a plant. Okay, these studies focus on the expression of genes related to sulfur and iron. These researchers discovered that variations in the magnetic field significantly influence metal concentration in plants, really significantly, particularly copper, and enhance the expression of genes responsible for the uptake in iron and sulfur. These findings indicate that shifts in the Earth's magnetic field can alter heavy metal balance within the plants. If it's actually significant, that would actually surprise me.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah,
that would be surprising information.
But he's citing someone else. This is someone else's research.
Yeah, this is someone else's research. Yeah. I haven't figured out what he figured out yet.
Yeah,
so. Can we skip to the part where he discovers something?
All right. So this is all kind of the background, and we'll go down. Relationship between the geomet and human physiology. Okay. Because it's funny because there are no. So usually with a research paper, there are like some type of experiments and tests, something that shows something. But here he's just seems to be talking throughout.
Let's read the part about. Let's read this paragraph for a while. The part about health.
All right, hold on. Implications. Summary. I'm just trying to see where this. So we're at the. This is the end. So let's go back.
Let's read this one. I want to know how the magnetic field is screwing with my health.
All right, this is where we're at.
All right, research has highlighted the significant impact of Earth's magnetic field on various aspects of human health and physiological processes, including sleep patterns, circadian rhythm. Okay, mental health, neurological and cognitive functions, endocrine and immune system, and cardiovascular health. Okay. Although the specific physiological mechanisms behind these effects remains unclear, this section explores the health implications associated with the magnetic field.
So in other words, it seems like, when I first read this, it seemed like what he's trying to say is that since there's a magnetic component to your brain, there's a magnetic component to your heart, then that is affected by the Earth's magnetic field.
Sure.
That's what he's saying. That's the wrap up here.
Alterations in the Earth's magnetic field can contribute to sleep disturbances. I know you just told me that. And irregularities, as geomagnetic frequencies are known to influence physiological processes that regulate. I know you told me that too. Sleep is crucial for maintaining thermodynamic homeostasis. Wow, he's telling me why sleep is good. Okay, guys, in case you didn't know, here are reasons that sleep are good. Sleep is crucial for maintaining thermodynamic homeostasis, hormone regulations, neurological cognition, anti-inflammatory processes, metabolic functions, and emotional well-being. Well, sleep is good. That's genius work. Therefore, disturbances in the geomagnetic activity can decrease sleep quality, which in turn can negatively affect overall health. You know, not for nothing, but you could actually test this in a lab because you can produce magnetic fields.
Yes, you can have people sleep, you can see how it affects them.
You could just do this in a lab. You could get a group of people in, put a group of people into a sleep center, monitor them in whatever way you're monitoring them. I'm not sure what machines you can use because you're going to, be messing with the magnets, but whatever. And so figure that out. And some days the magnetic field is on and some days it's not. And you just monitor the people and you see what, happens to their sleep patterns. That would be an interesting study you could perform.
Well, you know what? I want to move from this because I think this.
You just want to ask ChatGPT?
No, because just reading this, I think this is the best of this paper. This is the best summary of this paper.
Okay.
But you want to continue? You want to read something else? You can read it.
While EMP is distinct frequency component of the Earth's ecology compared to the geomagnetic field, the two interact with the significantly impact human health. For example, changes in the Earth's magnetic field can generate electrical currents in the Earth's crust, influencing physiological processes such as metabolism. Okay. Cell transport and function and circadian rhythms. Okay. So if there are electrical currents in the crust, that influences my metabolism. Noted. Scroll down, please. Subtle electrical currents in the Earth's crust, like Sherman resonance, typically hold a more negative ionic charge than the exterior charge of structured water in the human body. If anyone can translate that sentence into English, is with a straight face, let me know. These currents play a crucial role in regulating cardiovascular health and minimizing inflammatory response, even though they've historically been under-recognized. Furthermore, electromagnetic currents are believed to affect the human body by influencing endocrine function and endocrine function and hormone regulation, thereby impacting immune health through alterations in cortisol. Okay.
Now, all of these are just conclusions. None of these have any, here's the test results, here's what we did, this is why we come to conclusions, just...
Yeah, no.
And then,
And you could test for this. It is testable. You get them a nice sleep lab. You have a nice big-ass electromagnetic nearby. Some days you turn it on, some days you turn it off. And you see what the hell happens.
And he has a site here. These are the people he say, Tong and Kong. Tong and Kong.
Evans suggests that natural geopathic stressors, such as geomagnetic anomalies, geological faults, underground waterways, and radon gas, what the fuck, disrupt the Earth's natural geomagnetic field. What?
Well, he's got Tong and Kong here again as a source, and this Karim 2010.
Creating geopathic stress zones that negatively affect human health. Radon gas affects the magnetic field?
Yes. It's right there. He said. What does this have to do with quantum physics, though? I've heard nothing in it. I've seen nothing here that has anything to do with quantum physics, even though you're almost at the end of this day. Let me go to the bottom. Oh, I passed it, right? This is it?
I don't know. Just search for the word quantum.
No, here it is.
Search for the word quantum.
We're right here. Quantum. Control F. QUANTUM. Because we're interested in a quantum physics piece of this from the University of Haiti, which he says he got this from. All right, so
we read that part about the quantum field.
So
we just said the word quantum a couple times.
All right, how many got quantum? All right, so here quantum physics. So we are in this section.
Wait. What does it say about this? Okay. The effect on geopathic and geomagnetic events on human health may extend beyond the scope of modern qualitative science, necessitating an interdisciplinary approach that involves quantum physics.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a hard read. And but again, this is not my field. It sounds like BS. So I'm saying, let's go to Grok and let's see what Grok says about this, or ChatGPT, or one of the mini IAs I pulled up. But we've just so everybody knows, we've already dumped them in. We've already read them, so it's pretty much all good. But so what do you think? As of right now, what do you think about this paper? Because you wanted to read this thing. I was like, I've read it already. It's kind of crazy, but you wanted to read the madness. It's pretty madness.
Yeah.
You wanted to go down this rabbit hole. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Here we go. So let's tell the people what Grok says about this. All right. So I asked, so here it is. This paper is 9 pages and long. It mixes science from different fields like physics, the study of energy and forces. What is it? Agronomy,
I think.
Agronomy and biology, blah, blah, blah. Main idea, the magnetic field.
It's agro, except it's agro, not culture. It's agronomy. So it's the study of the agro.
Main idea. Earth's magnetic field, called the geomagnetic field, GMF, which you saw many, many times, is like a giant magnet that helps keep everything on Earth balanced. Its effects, soil and plants, remember, it changes how dirt holds water, nutrients, blah, 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 people's bodies. It claims the field acts on our hearts and stress, which we just read. You see, we could have just done
big change like solar storms might cause problems, sleep, or fatigue. Okay.
All right. How was it done?
No new experiments. Yeah.
Just a review of other people's studies, like reading a bunch of books and papers and summarizing them. It has math formulas like how magnets work and lists 32 references, other papers. It quotes weird parts. It mixes real science with stuff like ley lines, invisible energy lines in the earth, like which you pointed out when we read that. Good catch. Biogeometry, a made-up system by a guy named, this guy who he cites many times, that says the shapes can fix energy problems. It also calls
shapes itself.
It also calls, what did it say? Shapes itself. It also calls the magnet field a quantum field, which sounds cool, but isn't how real scientists, and this uses the word real scientists, usually describe it. Now, is it credible, believable as real science? I'll let you read this one.
No, not really.
Oh.
It's like a mix of some true facts with a lot of shaky or fake stuff. Here's why. The author, Rashad Richey, seems to be the same as Dr. Rashad Richey, a radio host and media guy in the U.S. He claims to have tons of degrees. It's like 14. But people online, such as my friend over here,
and you, not just me, you don't believe this guy has 14. All right. Kurt believes Rashad Richey has 14 degrees.
Sure. Yeah. Totally. Say some are faker from shady schools. This dissertation is published in a journal called IJSR, but it's not a real top science journal. It's more like a place where anyone can pay to get stuff printed. Real dissertations get checked by experts in universities, not just posted. The university degree, the school is real. It's a private college, but agronomical physics isn't a normal degree.
No.
I checked online.
They told us.
It only shows up connected to this guy. No other school offers it. They say they partners with a French university, but I couldn't find proof of that. Sounds made up to look fancy. I mean, maybe he's literally creating the discipline. That's how much of his leader is. He's creating the discipline.
The science. Some parts are based on real science, and they give you some examples.
It quotes a 2023 paper by Bolano about how weak magnets change plant chemicals. That's a real article from an OK journal. Earth magnetic field does affect some animals like birds and maybe plants a little, but a lot of it's stretched for pseudoscience. Yeah, I was kind of picking up on that.
We kind of got that.
Things that are ley lines and biogeometry are from books by Ibram Keir, who is an architect, not a scientist. It's like believing a crystal's healing you. Fun, but not backed by studies. Claims about magnets fitting heart problems or Wi-Fi causing geopathic stress, bad Earth vibes, are exaggerated. Real scientists say magnetic fields can affect tiny things, but not in big ways. Yeah, that sounds more plausible to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had like a really small scale thing, it might be impacted. I buy that. Ignores counter evidence. For example, most doctors say solar storms don't cause heart attacks. What does your wife say about this?
She says no. This is bull. Yeah.
No, she's not buying buying the field thing.
No, magnetic storm will cause massive heart attacks across the globe. Have you heard that?
Do they have like whatever the equivalent of a reader for the seismograph? I don't know what you would call it.
I understood about the heart monitor.
Well, I was thinking bigger scale than that. I was thinking, for the Earth itself, we need a seismograph. I guess what would we even call this? magnetic field graph to be able to chart the Earth's magnetic field, so the doctors can know if they're going to get like a rush that day.
That's it. That's interesting. Yeah. But I think they're. Yeah, that's interesting. That's probably work. But you know what? I would also say this could be. You can actually look at the data, right? Solar storms have hit the Earth before. All we got to do is see if there's an increase in heart condition.
We can measure. We can measure it like barometric pressure.
Yes.
We'll get a scale and we'll get a little device to measure it, and then the hospitals can know if they're going to have extra patients that day.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is a whole new thing. Maybe maybe I'll be doctor of the year next year.
Oh my God. Red flag warnings.
Too many big claims without new proof, just opinions. Mix real math with mystical ideas. The journal is well known for low standards. You don't say. Top scientists go to places like Nature or something. Yeah.
Now I asked it to explain it to us like we're 10th graders. Now this is what it says. Science is awesome, but you got to check your sources. This paper is like a fan theory in a video game. Parts are based on real stuff, but mostly hype. If you're doing a school report on magnets and earth science,
can you ask Grop specifically what the paper says relating to quantum mechanics or quantum physics, and ask it to explain it to me? Yeah. MEC.
Hold on. MEC.
H.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah, mechanics.
It's close enough.
I'm just asking it. I'm fumbling. I can't spell mechanics. I should have just copy and pasted it. Or I should have just spoken into the shit. All right, here we go. Grok. Discussing quantum.
And for everyone asking at home, yes, I am considering Grok a more reputable authority than the paper. That's it. Yes, that is what I'm doing.
Well, Grok chews on that. Good to see you looking well. Thank you so much. Also, hey Sean, how many pages? Oh, this is Kurt Uncivil Law. Double-blind peer review. Peer reviews were blind and not able to use their screen readers. All right, I'll give you your answer. This one is two of my faves, man. This is for the tub of Tylenol. You're going to need that. Yeah. I'm definitely going to need
feeling
Nate. Yeah, I'm feeling it. This is rough. It was rough when I went through Rashad versus Omar in a Diddy fight. Who wins? I think Omar wins that fight, but it all depends on you now. Yeah, I think Omar wins that fight. This is absolute fake Marvel movie Ant-Man and the Wasp. Richey Quantumania. Oh, Reaction Justice Warrior from CD. Given the level of dishonesty, how do we know?
I know how it's not plagiarized. I know how it's not plagiarized because no person would say this bullshit. That's how I know it's not plagiarized. I am quite confident it is an original work.
The study of getting attention.
Yeah, plagiarism is not the problem. I'm pretty confident of that.
All right. So this paper doesn't discuss quantum mechanics in depth. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's more of a passing reference used to frame the Earth's geomagnetic field in quantum context. Instead, it loosely borrows from quantum field theory to describe the geomagnetic field as geomagnetic quantum field. Yeah, which broke my brain. Here's a breakdown of key mentions based on documents context. The full title, we did that. The abstract calls it, we did that. In the introduction, we cite quantum field theory. It says quantum field theory assigns a dynamic quality or field to every point in space. That makes me want to die inside. Scroll down.
Where is the mouse? There it is.
Then directly calls it many fields, saying it originates from the core. No detailed math. Oh, you didn't say. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. Just an analogy to make. It's not an analogy. I object to that, Grok. It is, what would we say? Whitewashing with bullshit.
So this is the overall takeaway.
The paper uses quantum terms at a layer of complexity, but doesn't teach or analyze quantum, like wave function, particle, or uncertainty. It's more like pop science or pseudoscience, blending real physics with unproven concepts. The subtle energy. What the fuck is subtle energy? If you're looking for a real explanation of quantum mechanics, this isn't it. No shit.
Well, it lets us know the references are superficial and mostly serve to support the author's claims about magnetic fields affecting plants and people. So,
what is subtle energy? Can you please ask ChatGPT what subtle energy is?
Subtle
or
energy?
Grok or whatever we're using right now. It's right there. It says subtle energy. The quote. Just ask what is subtle energy. Just ask the question.
What is subtle energy? Oh, wait, type it in.
You're killing me.
Sorry. I don't even know what you're talking about. What is? Oh, and now I know. I'm like, huh? ENG, yeah. You're saying subtotal. All right. Here we go. All right, so
solar energy is a concept that comes from ancient spiritual tradition. Ulterior healing practice, some melon wellness. It's not the same thing as energy physics talk about. Instead, it's described as an invisible, non-physical life force. I don't want to read any more words. I got it. I'm good. Thanks. I'm done. I got it. Moving on.
So we understand. So all right. So at the end of the day, is this paper? So Grok says it's all BS. Grok says I like. What do you think? So now you've read the pit. Let me take this off so we can get back, put our faces back up here. So what do you think? I told you it was essentially nonsense.
Although I have to say, well, I feel like I'm more of a master of soil sciences than this guy.
And this, he's got a PhD and master's in this stuff. And he defended this. He holds this up. I have a degree.
Here's my master's thesis, which is better accredited. Rain falls on the earth.
Rain falls.
And then the plants grow.
The water cycle?
Yeah. And the water gets absorbed by the plants, and the plants grow, and then they become big plants, and we harvest the plants, and it makes everyone happy. Hooray! There's my master's thesis.
So now, and I'm not reading the other one again. Your one, I'm gonna give that to you to read. But another one's even worse. It's worse than this. Obviously, I think this one he learned a little bit and was able to get it on the right track. But this is this is what we're working with. This is what we're working with. And again, this has been sent to a French school. So maybe they converted it to English for us to read.
I'm sure that's the problem. That's definitely it.
Yeah. Well,
it's the language. Are we reading the other one, or what are we doing?
Oh no! Oh no! I'm not reading another one. Oh, you know what? Let's look at the so everybody can see. They have a new view of the shooting that people are saying is going to change our perspective on the shooting that occurred in I think that occurred earlier in Minnesota. So we're going to look at this new video and see what the hell is going on. So I'm going to stop this.
The rain comes along, rain, 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 falls on the earth, fall, fall, fall. Plants suck up the rain, rain.
With this rain,
sun shines on the plants, and the plants grow, and they grow.
All right, so there he is. All right, so now we have a new angle. So we're going to look at this new angle. All right, it is about 47 seconds. So remember the car thing with the woman hits the ICE agent, gets shot, blah, blah, blah. So there is a new angle that everybody's looking at now, and I am about to put that up on screen, and it's supposed to change our perspective of what happened. So I want to see what this is and if it does change our perspective. So let's look at the new video. Here it is. I'm going to put it full mass. Here we go. Let's see. So this is the shooting in Minnesota with the woman with the car. Her car is there blocking traffic. So let's see it.
Change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at?
So just so people understand what's going on, these people, ICE is deployed every day. They go and try to obstruct ICE from deploying. So what she's done, she's blocked traffic, and you see a whole bunch of ICE vehicles trying to deploy to go do what they got to do. So they're trying to slow ICE down. So she's blocked traffic and they're letting one car around at a time because you saw people like, oh, she's waving people by, but she's doing that to actually slow them down. That's why they went to the car and said, you got to move this car so we can get by. And this is where you get this. So that's where we're at.
I said, go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car.
So now because she won't move, get out the car. You're under arrest. You're what do they call it? Obstructing federal agents doing their thing.
It's obstruction.
It's
delay, hinder. Yeah, no problem.
So now we're at delay, hinder, obstruction. Okay, so here we go.
Out of the car.
Now she's backing up. Officers in front of the car, phone, still looking.
Oh!
What do you think?
Doesn't change my mind.
Yeah. People are saying that this shows the officer. People shows that this shows the officer who's in the wrong position.
Out of the car.
Away from the officer. But as you can see here, she clearly hits the gas and hits the officer.
Yep. Yeah.
And then listen closely. After the car hits the officer, so I'm gonna go back because I want you guys to listen closely. After the car hits the officer, while the car's moving, you're gonna hear the gunshots.
Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
Yep. Yeah, which as I said before, I don't think it really matters much one way or the other. If he had shot before the hit versus after the hit, I mean, either way, it's an ongoing threat. It's a threat that's happening right now. So I don't think it really matters very much one way or the other if it happened before the hit or after the hit.
Well, I'm going to ask you. Let me. This is what's his name says. So Andy from Popcorn Planet was here arguing this with us. So he says that the officers are clearly agitated and that she should have been arrested. He agrees with that, but he believes that she was clearly turning the wheel away from the officer, and it shows him dropping his phone and not being hit, and calling her an effing B.
But we've seen the hit on the other perspectives.
To me, it seems like he's hit here.
Yeah,
it's not like the car's not hitting.
Get out of the fucking car.
Remember, this is the guy who goes around in front. This is the guy with he's being hit.
Oh!
At that time, he's being hit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I mean, I still think it's a lawful shoot. I think it's justified. I think it's a good shoot.
I think it's justified. I think based on, and again, I want to make it very clear, people. We are not saying this woman should have been killed. We're not saying this officer's actions were what we would have done. What we are saying is that if a legal analysis, a hard legal analysis on the standards that we know that they to be, this is going to be categorized as a good shoot. Because, and like we kept asking Andy before, if you're standing in front of that car and that car starts moving to you, would you be in fear? And if your answer is yes, game over.
To my mind, this is a justifiable homicide. It's obviously a homicide because someone died, and the question of legal justification is the same question that we ask basically all the time when it comes to self-defense. You know, and also you can ask like the reasonable officer test, so you could go to Graham v. Connor, and like it's associated cases for the same principle. But yeah, to me, okay, it's like, okay, would a reasonable person in that point of view perceive a ongoing or imminent threat to death or grievous bodily harm, right? Because that's the test for lethal self-defense or deadly force, to be more precise. So it has to be either an ongoing or imminent threat of death or grievous bodily harm. Okay. So we got a 4,000-pound vehicle that is driving towards your direction and has hit you. That can reasonably be perceived as deadly force. I think a reasonable person could perceive it that way. And therefore, deadly force is authorized in response. So I think it's justifiable using the standards for legal justification.
Hold on. A friend of mine, Drag, he wants to weigh it. I'm going to send him.
That's cool.
I'm going to send him the thing. There it is. I'm glad. I don't know what. Sometimes like his messages don't come up. Like it seems like he sent me a message the other day too. I don't know why I'm not getting it. All right, there it is. So he got it now.
And it doesn't have. And of course, the harm doesn't have to have actually happened because it can be imminent. Right, the harm is about to happen. Like the classic is, the guy raises a knife, I pull the gun and shoot him. Right, I don't have to wait to get stabbed.
At the very worst, it was lawful but awful. I think that's probably the best, because it's like you have now the narrative that these people were just there doing nothing and la la la, we living our life, blah blah blah, and the ICE agents. But that's not what happened. Here's Drag. All right,
what's going on?
All right, we're doing all right. What? Oh, you know what? This is in the wrong. That should be like that.
There we go.
So what's up? What's your take on this?
So I've discussed this with my old platoon leader, who was a former Marine, right? They're taught all the engagement, escalation of force, all that stuff. I've discussed it with my cousin, who is an active police officer, and both of them agree that the officer was in the wrong with placing himself in front of the vehicle, which I agree with. Not an issue. Fine. The problem that I have is that if you go back and watch the original video that everybody swears up and down shows her innocence, if you actually look at where the tires are and you see when she shifts gears, the weight of the vehicle shifts, and you can tell, right? Look at the front driver's side tire. You will see that it's spinning directly in front because she starts turning, but then she can't gain purchase enough to make the turn, and she continues rotating it clockwise after she made contact with him. She was absolutely trying to hit him with that car, unequivocally. And even if she wasn't, even if it was just a random accident, okay? People, for some weird reason, leave out the fact that there are two people in this scenario with potentially deadly weapons, right? If the cop is being looked at for his lack of discernment with his instrument, then equally, the person with a several thousand-pound vehicle that has been known to kill people is also accountable. So that's what I think is really missing out of this entire conversation, where people are trying to find a way to demonize these guys, which you don't have to like and fine. Are they overzealous? Sure. But if you genuinely think that these guys are the Gestapo, if you genuinely think they can carry you away, why would you needlessly endanger your life like that? Why would you do that unless you're trying to be a martyr? So I don't buy this narrative that people, for some weird reason, think that she's both a victim and some sort of a hero at the same time. It's odd to me. I don't know if y'all get the same vibe, but that's what I see it from a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the issue is that she was obviously committing at least a misdemeanor, blocking traffic, and I would say maybe even a felony of trying to stop ICE from carrying out their duties. So We're talking about she's in the middle of a criminal act, and her friend, because her friend is like, hey, look, we're doing this. So that,
I believe that's her wife, actually.
Oh, her wife. So they're in that situation. But I would say we cannot pretend that anyone else in that situation, when the cops, she had a chance to leave. She chose not to. And then when the cops came and said, you can't leave now, instead of her saying, all right, I'm under arrest, she tried to run. And when she tried to run with a cop in front of the car. Now, whenever and I'll say this, and I feel bad for saying this, but if a cop is standing in front of the car and you hit the gas, whatever happens to you, it's your fault. It's unfortunately, it's her fault. You hit the gas with a cop in front of the car, and I think you can make an argument. If the car didn't hit him, then you can make an argument, right? Even though I agree with Kurt in terms of threat. But in this instance, he was actually hit by the car and then fired. I don't know how clean. It could have been a cleaner shoot unless she pulled out a gun, because he was actually hit by her deadly weapon. And let's say, for instance, he gets hit by the car and falls under the car, and she keeps driving. Right? He's dead. So he
almost got ran over. 6 months ago?
Yeah, 6 months ago. Yeah, he almost got ran over 6 months ago, and he held back. But I think emotionally, I think a lot of people want this to be a bad shoot. But I think it's like this is like essentially Kyle Rittenhouse all over again, except in reverse.
Yeah,
and I think with Kyle Rittenhouse, it was clearly self-defense. But I think here, the first video fooled everybody. I think the first video, that angle, had people confused. Like, oh, look, the cop moved out the way and shot her anyway. But now these other angles are showing a very, very, very different story. And I think that's what most people should be taking out of this, is that sometimes you got to wait for all the videos and evidence to come out. And then you can say, okay, this looks more, this is what more likely to happen. Now, I'll ask you, do you think, would you convict this woman? Would you convict this cop of a homicide?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If I was on that jury, I would say that is a good shoot. You can clearly see, even though he did place himself in a position where you shouldn't. I mean, that's DOJ policy, any common sense, hell, absolutely. But it's
this is what's going on a lot around the internet. They're saying the first shot that killed her, they're not sure if it's first. I think first or second, but let's assume the first shot killed her, whatever. She said she would quit for the first shot, but not 2 and 3.
What does that matter? How's that significant?
I'm not sure, Hunch. You got to.
So,
you don't have to.
So
no, why?
I think. Well, like I said, I did 4 years in the Army, right? Based on just my very limited experience, you don't necessarily shoot to kill. You shoot to neutralize, right? One shot is not going to put down most people unless it's a headshot. I'm going to tell you right now, you can shoot somebody in the chest 2 times, 3 times. They will still come at you. They will still attack you just based on adrenaline alone. That kill shot, he was a good shot, evidently, absolutely. But if you have good training, you're going to make sure that you are neutralizing the threat to your life directly in front of you. Right? It doesn't matter if it's 2 bullets or 8 bullets.
You gotta practice that Mozambique drill.
What were you saying earlier? You were saying earlier about that one shot, because remember earlier they said the federal prosecutor was like the first shot is good, but the other 2.
No one's going to slice it this thin. Like there's just no time. Those 3 shots happened within the space of what, a second?
Yeah.
There's just no time to split. It's like if you think the first one's justified, there's just no way you could conclude. Well, first of all, you have a couple logical problems. First, you could never conclude that beyond a reasonable doubt the second and third weren't justified, because like it's all happening because the question is in the mind. Like, has the threat stopped? Because if you're thinking about self-defense theory, the question again is it imminent or ongoing? Okay, so you fire the first shot. Has the threat stopped at the time the first shot? I mean, no, presumably it hasn't stopped because it's still contemporaneous. So those second and third shots are justified from self-defense theory. Also, unless you happen to know somehow which of the bullets killed her, then if the first shot is justified, then you could never convict on murder because which shot killed him, right? And it's like you'd never be able to slice that down. So and no one would slice it that thin in a real court. They're never going to slice it down to a second. Like if they reloaded, maybe, you've seen shots like that.
If you took time to aim and I think that's different.
5-second pause, maybe, but not contemporaneous.
It's just like one, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yes, you can't slice it that thin.
Yeah, and I think people are trying to do it for whatever. But you know what? I'm gonna add the chat. I'm gonna chat. I'm gonna have to chat and a question, and that question is going to be, would you convict this officer? So here is the poll.
Some people would, I bet.
Would you convict? Oh yeah, of course. It's never going to be. Well, Andy would convict. He would convict for sure.
I watched some of Andy's stuff, but I had to go to a client real quick. But
what do you think about his argument?
So give me like the low, because I heard a bit of what Andy said, where I think let me try my best to recollect, based on the position of the officer and the presumed, threat of danger or lack thereof, he doesn't think that discharging the weapon was applicable. That was what I got from Andy. So is that close to what he was saying?
His argument is that the officer placed himself in danger, and then is essentially responsible for whatever happened. So he placed himself in front of the car starts moving.
Okay.
He shoots, so he's responsible. But a lot of people don't know how ridiculous that argument is. It's because officers are paid to put themselves in danger. Bank robbery. Just like an officer says, you go to a bank robbery and then shoot the bank robber. Oh, he put himself in danger.
But just think about this. But Kurt made this. Kurt, you made this point earlier.
Danger because he was walking around the vehicle, right? He had started, at least we saw, start at the driver's side. He walked around the back, then he continued walking. He was walking around the front. So I'm not sure he was necessarily standing in front of the vehicle. He was still in the process of moving. It's my mind. So it's not. I don't think he necessarily put himself in the danger either.
Yeah, here's exactly. He was actually just looks like he was recording and just walking.
Yeah, he was going around recording everything, and then he saw the wife on the other end, and he had an interaction with the wife, right? But that's why he was stopping, because he was interacting with her. But before, you can see him circling the back of the car. So I think, but here's the thing: if we're going to say that because he placed himself in a dangerous predicament, okay, that everyone knew was dangerous, then the onus falls upon both people in this case for putting themselves, because this is an active federal operation happening in the middle of the day. Everyone knows what's going on. She decides she wants to actively interfere with an operation from a 3-letter agency. Okay, that is literally the definition of putting yourself in danger. If the FBI is having a shootout with a cartel member, are you going to waltz across it? Are you going to drive across it? No, that's stupid. Yeah. So I think these arguments are just ridiculous.
Here is the video you're talking about. Now remember, this officer seemingly is recording for the document for their safety, just in case something happens. So this is the officer.
Oh!
Gets out the car. Filming. Now, at that point, remember, he's come from the other side. He's walked around. He's walked past the driver, right? She's still sitting there.
That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. Right. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car.
Now, the wife tries to jump back in the car because she knows it's over now, right? They're saying, you're coming with us. Those American citizens have to get arrested by ICE. They federal law. But that's what, so now she's trying to get out.
You are super guilty of obstruction, my friend.
Yes. Now it's time to get the hell out of there. All that tough talk. Now, the wife is holding the door and the car's already moving. The wife tried to get in, but the car's already moving.
Get out of the car.
Oh! Getting in front. He was
literally just filming. So he didn't really put himself in the danger. But the narrative is he put himself in the danger, and by putting himself in that zone of danger, he is responsible for his safety being at risk. And I think it's a ridiculous argument in terms of what police are actually supposed to. Police are supposed to be in danger.
That's what their job. Actually, remember in Uvalde a couple of years ago, there's a police officer going to jail because he did not act in a dangerous scenario in Uvalde. So it's like I understand people have an issue, and I have an issue with some of their operations too. Like don't get me wrong, right? I think actually my cousin, who is racially ambiguous, got stopped by ICE just the other day. So I understand that it impacts people and people have emotions about it. But if you genuinely think that people are accountable for their actions, specifically people from 3-letter agencies, that applies to all adults, not just the ones you like. And so this woman who decides she wants to play hero, she wants to get hyped up and believe the bullshit on the internet for people she claims are the Gestapo of all, really. But you're going to go and antagonize them. You're going to go drive in the middle of the operation, okay? You're going to place yourself in direct contact with their vehicles, with people who are armed that you genuinely think can drag you away and make you disappear. And you mean to tell me that the only person that should be concerned about their actions is the guy with the gun? That's ridiculous. Come on. Everybody here is an adult. Every single person in that scenario is an adult. If he's responsible for being hit, she's responsible for that bullet in her fucking head. Okay? So let's not play games. I get it. People are emotional, but that's reality.
One thing I like the other argument that she was waving people by, right? You heard that argument. Like she's waving people by, but that was part of the deception, right? She's waving people by to slow ICE down. That was the plan. Block traffic, make them go around, wave them by. The car wasn't disabled or anything. It wasn't like stuck in the snow. And then when they came and said, "Peep game, we're not doing this. You're going to move the car," and then she chose or else. All right, you're coming with us. And why try to run? Like people are making it sound like she was so scared. She didn't know. There's so many cops around. We didn't know. It seems to me she wasn't scared at all from what we just saw. It seemed like she was lucid. she was actually pretty all right with what was going on. Did you see that?
People who are scared don't sit there and argue with the person they're scared with.
Yeah, I don't see somebody who's frightened here.
Didn't see a lot of fear, no.
Yeah, that's not somebody in fear of us. Oh my God, why are all these people here? Oh my God, that's what we heard earlier. We heard this woman that you see on screen was in so much fear. She just freaked out, and there was cops everywhere. That's not what I'm seeing here. That
looks like contempt. That looks like contempt. That's what that face looks like.
And I think you can do all this, but you got to accept the consequences when they want to arrest your ass. Okay. And you're a hero. She'd be a hero for the left. They arrested this woman, but it just is what it is.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch.
You want to come at us? Go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
They're taunting.
I'm talking about, we heard a totally different interaction earlier in terms of what was being portrayed. These were innocent, scared white women who just happened to be driving and got caught up in some ice madness. That's not that. That's not this. That's not this.
Boy,
no.
Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car.
Now when they start saying get out the car. Now what? No, but I would ask this. Is she about to just flat leave her wife?
Apparently.
Because they told her to get out the car. Is she driving away and leaving the wife out there?
Hey, look, it's every woman for themselves.
I'll bail you out, babe. She's about to take off on the wife. Am I seeing it wrong? She's literally taking it off.
I guess they didn't rehearse this part.
Oh! Well, that was a dumb thing to do, now, wasn't it?
Out of the car.
Oh!
She just totally left the wife. The wife is still there. So I think at the end of the day, this is like, you know, and I say it all the time. Each one of these situations you have to treat differently, and no matter what happens, what I always feel is that no matter how you come down on this, because me and Kurt, like George Floyd, me and you came on the same. We believe it was a righteous conviction.
Yeah, at least for the principal officer.
Yes,
I have my doubts on some of the other officers.
The other ones I disagree. The one on Chauvin, clean conviction. Ashley Babbitt, she FAFO. When you got cops with guns saying don't come through the window, and you come through the window, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right. When it comes to Ahmaud Arbery, I thought that was a clean conviction too.
Very,
very clean conviction. Now I know a lot of people don't like that, but hey, that's just when we do the analysis. That's what came out. But then when you go to some place like Breonna Taylor, there's issues with that. Then when you got something with what was the last one that we all came to, Kyle Rittenhouse, for instance.
Yeah.
From the beginning, we all said that looks like a clean shoot. But in the media narrative, no.
There was also that lady cop, his name I can't remember, who
Kim Porter.
Yeah, Kim Porter, who got convicted. I didn't think that was a good conviction.
Yeah. So because what happens is we'll be labeled based on our analysis of this as coons, as racist, as conservatives. But most people don't realize that even with George Floyd and all these other ones, we don't care about the nonsense politics. We just care about the facts on the ground. Go ahead, I cut you off.
No, I was just saying, like the most popular video on my channel in like the last 10 days was the video of me making fun of the police because they were idiots when they were pulling over this internal affairs guys, and the police were being like idiots. And I was calling them all kinds of names. So if the police are wrong, I call them wrong all the time. Police do some sketchy shit sometimes. They do some wrong things. And there should be some try. And like the Uvalde thing, my only complaint is that we're not prosecuting enough cops.
Thank you. Somebody said it. Somebody fucking said it. It's not just one. It's not the point man. It's other people in that squad. That whole squad should be on trial, if you ask me.
Everyone is right.
Now, this is where we disagree. Only reason why is because I've taken that training So I've taken the active shooter training. I was an incident commander for active shooter. I've gone to the Department of Homeland Security. And the rule is, no doubt about it, active shooter, you go to the threat. If you have a gun, you go to the threat, and and the reason why is because
that's been the training since Columbine.
Yes. So what happens here is the reason why they prosecute the one guy, not all 700, is because in the training, in the incident, they call it incident command training. What happens is the person who's on the scene, the top guy, the chief of the department was on the scene. He's the person that automatically makes decisions for resources, for everything. So even if you have the feds come in, it's the incident commander that tells them where to go. In this case, he, as the incident commander, left. He left. So, and everybody was waiting for orders from the incident commander. When can we go and when can you go in? And the only reason why they went in, when the attack team from the Border Patrol came, they were like, how long you have to sit here? 60 minutes. Fuck that, we're going in. But so the reason why they're charging the incident commander is because all 700 of those cops were waiting on him to say, go in. And they were all saying, yeah, we would win in that month, but we were waiting for him, and we thought they were doing their thing.
The training is don't wait. The training is go in, man. I want to prosecute everyone.
No, not a barricade. Not if somebody's barricaded. The incident commander says, go in, you go in. And remember, he said he didn't know because the door was locked and all of a sudden, but the door was open.
It was open. It wasn't locked.
Yeah.
And then second, yeah.
I was looking for.
I think. Yeah.
No, but if you prosecute them all, I don't really care. It's like, all right, if you get them all,
yeah,
like throwing your mask. I'm telling your mask, these cop guys.
I'm just saying to the prosecutor's office down there, if it's a resource problem, if you guys need some prosecutors, I'm available. I'll be happy to. I've never run a criminal prosecution. I might let a couple guys go because I'm getting my training wheels going. But I might blow 5 prosecutions. But I've got 695 more to go. It's going to be fine. Just put me in charge. Put me in chief. I'm ready to go.
The situation tragic. Definitely siding with the defense of self. I think this situation is tragic, but I think when everybody calms down and stops thinking about, like earlier, we were watching Breaking Points, and what did she say when the car hit the cop?
Yeah.
What did she say? She said something silly like, the car brushed up on the cop.
Yeah.
lightly.
Oh. Well, the bullet gently grazed her brain. Then I mean, we can color any scenario however you want. The fact of the matter is, both people in that scenario have potentially deadly objects, and how you choose to use them is the line between life and death.
Amen to that. Well, with that being said, we're gonna get on out of here because I got things I have to take care of. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your insights. Thank you too, Kurt, for reading. Even though I told you it was like ridiculous, I needed it
in my life.
Yes. Now I'll give you the other one. You can read it on your own. But
I might cover it on my channel later.
And also, we may be doing this again in a couple of maybe 30 minutes because we have like a secret video that we got that we're going to review. So we might bring you back if you're still around. But
I'll be around.
It's going to be very interesting. So come back, but we will see you guys a little later. And thanks. And again, obviously, I don't usually live stream, especially twice in one day or 3 times in one day. But I'm getting back into the YouTube game, and I'm getting back and just trying to get back into things. So we're going to have a lot of content come out. It's not going to be as buttoned up as before, but I'm having fun. I'm spending a lot of time with my friends, as you can see, and Eric and even Andy came up here and yelled at us. So it's been great. It's therapeutic, you know what I'm saying, and it helps me at least get back into it. So if you guys can just bear with me for a little while, and we'll make
maybe
it happen.
It's the magnetic field.
Yeah. That's why half my hair is gone. So you guys, we'll see you guys a little later.